Are we recording?
We are ready.
All right, it's 7 o'clock. We'll call the meeting to order. Rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Note that all board members are present except for Mr. Goldrick. And this portion of the meeting I will open to public comment. Did anyone sign a sheet? Okay.
I'll take it, Larry, from here. I want to personally thank Jennifer Hahn for organizing a prom. It was a picture-perfect prom. It was not sanctioned by our district, but they went out of their way as parents to make a prom for our seniors, which was awesome, and our juniors who attended. I've been told the night went great, and the kids will have a memory forever. Also, I'd like to thank Stacy Mazurk, Becky Krause, Michelle Pacheco, Tina Guerin for their help in making it a great evening. If I left anyone out, I apologize. Let's give a big thank you to all involved in that. They made a prom happen for our seniors.
Very good.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Closed public comment, and I need a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of April 12th of 2021 as presented.
So moved. Second.
Okay, Weissel?
Yes.
Ducius?
Yes.
Hernandez?
Yes.
Pappas?
Yes.
Mazur?
Yes.
And Herman.
Yes.
Motion carried.
And do I need to read the election results into the record, or just?
It can be as presented as well.
Okay. I need a motion to approve the canvassed election results of April 6th of 2021 as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Hernandez?
Yes.
Pappas?
Yes.
Mazur?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Weissel?
Yes.
Ducius?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, and do you need to read the minutes of this current meeting?
I can just indicate that the meeting was called to order by President Herman at 7 o'clock. Roll call was taken. Paul Goldrick was absent. Many were in the audience. Public comment by Ron Mazurk, thanking all those involved with the prom. The regular meeting minutes of April 12th. Motion by Ducius, second by Pappas to approve. Roll call was taken. All members in attendance voted yes. Motion carried. Canvass votes were also, a motion was made by Mazurk, seconded by Pappas to approve. Roll call again was taken, and all members in attendance voted yes.
Thank you. I need a motion for approval of the minutes from the current meeting as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Ducius,
Yes.
Hernandez,
Yes.
Pappas,
Yes.
Mazurk,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Weissel.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. All right, and the board has a gift for retiring Mrs. Weissel.
Right.
And,
Oh.
and the board wishes to thank Carla Weissel for her dedication to the students in Beecher and for her always punctual and always at the meetings. And we thank you very much, Carla.
Thank you, Carla.
And with that, I need a motion to adjourn Sine Die from this portion.
Before that, you're going to recognize Mr. Goldrick?
Mr. Goldrick is, I can, he has his own plaque in the office. He was not able to be here. Oh, it's right here.
He had called and said he wasn't going to be able to make it. So.
Okay.
But we do have the same.
And I'd like to publicly thank Mr. Goldrick. Paul was on the board before I started, and we did a lot together, and I appreciate all he's done. And I'm sure the citizens of Beecher are very appreciative of the time he spent on the board. Thank you. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Aye.
Voice vote, all in favor, aye. We are adjourned. Do we need to appoint you?
Yep. So, yeah, so Ashley and Janet can come up.
It's okay.
Do we need a motion to appoint you, or? Okay, I need a motion, huh?
And Marla.
And Marla. I need a motion to appoint Superintendent Cox as the President Pro Temporary and the Superintendent Secretary Marla as Secretary Pro Tem.
So moved.
Okay, Duchess,
Yes.
Hernandez,
Yes.
Missouri,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
and Pappas.
Yes.
Ladies, go down, go ahead and take a seat, and if you want to take formal roll with them. And with Ashley and Janet as part of the seven. Take a roll again.
Okay. Belt,
Yes.
Duchess,
Yes.
Hernandez, Missouri.
Yes.
Herman,
Here.
Pappas,
Yes.
and Palmer.
Yes.
Public comment, I did not see any public comment slips. I don't believe, Joe, we don't have anybody on the phone, do we?
We do have one with their hand raised. Ed Palmisano.
Ah.
So Ed has public comment. You want to unmute Ed and make sure we got the volume up here? Okay. we're good?
Ed, are you with us?
Can you hear us, Ed?
Yeah, is it coming through?
Yep, we've got you. Did you have a public comment?
Yes, a quick public comment. First of all, congratulations and welcome to the board, the new members. I did notice on the agenda tonight that it looks like there were possible action items that came to item H, something except legal counsel. Item I, hiring a new attorney. These might be good decisions, but I did want to question how it is that somebody who is just getting sworn into the board would have the right information to make that kind of a choice. My understanding is there may have been some executive session discussions that may have happened because I know we didn't get all the reasons at the time, and that it seems to me like there should be maybe even wait and table this until May so that people can have, the new members can have an opportunity to actually have an informed vote on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. Any other public comment? Okay. Board oath, if I could have the newly elected board members stand. You have your sheet to read off of.
Larry knows this by heart.
Do I have one? Oh, there it is.
Got it?
Yep. Oath and conduct.
Okay, so we're just gonna start going and just keep rolling, okay? So,
I,
your name,
Janet Ballmeyer.
do solemnly swear,
do solemnly swear.
now just go.
I, Ashley Bell, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully.
Together.
And
That I will
Faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the Board of Education of Beecher Community Unit School District 200U in accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the laws of the State of Illinois to the best of my ability.
I further swear that
I shall respect taxpayer interests by serving as a faithful protector of the school district's assets. I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion by my fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before the board while respecting the privacy of students and employees. I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority as an individual and that decisions can be made only by a majority vote at a public board meeting. I shall abide by majority decisions of the board while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels. As part of the Board of Education, I shall accept the responsibility for my role in the equitable and quality education of every student in the district. I shall foster with the board extensive participation of the community, formulate goals, define outcomes, and set the course for Beecher Community Unit School District 200U. I shall assist in establishing a structure and environment designed to ensure all students have the opportunity to attain their maximum potential through a sound organizational framework. I shall strive to ensure a continuous assessment of student achievement and all conditions affecting the education of our children in compliance with state law. I shall serve as education's key advocate on behalf of students and our community school to advance the vision of Beecher Community Unit School District 200U. And I shall strive to work together with the district superintendent to lead the school district toward fulfilling the vision the board has created, fostering excellence for every student in the areas of academic skills, knowledge, citizenship, and personal development. The
Very good, thank you.
welcome.
Thank you. Good to be back.
At this point in time, I'll take nominations for the position of board president. I'll nominate myself for board president. Okay, I have a nomination for Ron Mazurek. Any others?
I nominate Julie Pappas for board president.
Julie Pappas. Any others? Hearing none, do I have a first and second to close nominations?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have two nominations for board president by show of hands. Those in favor of Ron Mazurek as board president? I see 1, 2, 3. I see 3 votes. Those in favor of having Julie Pappas as board president? I see 1, 2, 3, 4. Julie Pappas will be board president for a 2-year term moving forward. Madam President, the meeting's yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. I am going to entertain nomination. Do I have to ask for action to open first?
Nope.
Okay, entertain nomination for vice president.
I nominate Larry Herman for vice president.
Any other nominations? I need a motion to close.
So moved.
Ron, would you be interested in?
No.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you. Do we need a show of hands?
Yes.
You can declare it unanimous, or you can have them vote,
Okay.
whichever you prefer.
Can I have a show of hands for Larry Herman for Vice President, please? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, Larry Herman is Vice President. I will entertain nominations for Secretary.
I'll nominate myself.
Okay.
I shall nominate myself.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, any other nominations? Okay, I need a motion to close.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
There's a second.
Thank you. All right, so can I see a show of hands for Ron Mazurek for Board Secretary? Okay, 3, thank you. Can I see a show of hands for Janet Palmer for Board Secretary? Thank you. That would be 4, so Janet Palmer is Board Secretary. Okay,
I would like to make a comment, just to note, for the public and for the record of why I did not vote. I voted no for Larry, because I believe there were problems with his leadership, that my experience was working with him over the past 2 years. So didn't want to continue, to support that. And then also I voted no, for Julie as well, Ms. Pappas, because I don't believe that, I believe that her opinions and judgments are extremely biased and don't always take into consideration the full judgments and circumstances of the district.
well, I hope that in the next 2 years you see how true my intentions are. Okay, thank you. Next, we are going to talk about the reaffirmation of all existing contracts, professional relationships, resolutions, and policies except legal counsel. Do I have any discussion?
I hope this board takes into consideration, this is my 4th reshuffle. And I'm not seeing, I know we got contracts and I know we got many things, but it's time to take these contracts back into finance or personnel, wherever they may need to go, and start looking at them. So I asked this board tonight to take a 30-day approval of this and bring it back and take these contracts of the school district, banking, whatever it may be, and look at these contracts moving on for the next 2 years. It's my 4th reshuffle. I'm tired of voting yes and not seeing stuff. I want to see stuff from now on out. So I hope that we can go with a 30-day and then start seeing these contracts and moving back to finance or personnel, wherever they may need to be discussed. But I'm seeing a lot, and I'm not going to sit here and vote tonight in regards to these contracts.
Okay.
Ron, thank you for that. I would also agree that it needs to be reviewed and considered by the whole board. I think more information needs to be shared. And in addition, the list of the contracts and relationships should have also been included, which hasn't been provided. And that way, I think new and incoming board members can have the complete information. So with that, Mr. Mazurek, I would like to also amend the motion to table this action until appropriate and decided by the board.
There are some we have to, right? Like the teacher contract. I mean, there's some that we have to approve tonight no matter what, correct?
Well, I believe those contracts, those are
approved.
already set.
Those are current,
Yeah,
yes.
those are set in stone.
Any
Is that the
clarification?
existing contract?
Yeah, so the clarification is this is a feel-good item. And so all this is saying is, we understand that everything the last board has done, and we're going to pick up with where that is moving forward. The previous board has already approved all these things. And so if you do or don't do this, all these things are still in effect. All these things are still, it's an attempt to have a show of conduct.
No, you're correct, but I've asked them to be reviewed. Of course.
And in addition, I'll echo again that I don't even have a list of what those current contracts are, or the new members as well. So I think that would be the first step so that we can understand.
So I understand that, but again, this is things that you've had a list of information for 2 years now. So as they're coming in, they realize that this is existing ones, and as he said, these are things that, you know, this is something that is in order of a new board. And as board president, I would stand with the fact that if there are any issues as we review contracts throughout the next 2 years, that's when we'll address these. But I don't think that we need to delay and drag our heels on something that is a formality.
So, Mr. President, you're saying tonight that you're not willing to review these contracts? That we're
We
moving
will
forward.
review them as we go on the next 2 years. So, I mean, if there's any that you know of, I would love specifics on that, but if you don't have specifics right now, then I wouldn't, because you would have privilege to all of these contracts.
That's why a comprehensive list would be helpful to start from, Mr. Missouri.
There's a motion on the floor. Why don't you call for a vote?
Yes, thank you so much. I am going to look for a motion to reaffirm all existing
No,
contracts.
there was already
I
a
need a motion
motion
to
on the
table.
floor.
Yes, and I do not wish to amend, so I'd like to check on that first. If we have enough votes to reaffirm, then will not amend it.
There wasn't a proposed motion, so I make the motion on the table
Oh,
is
okay.
the
I'm
motion
sorry.
on
You
the
have-
floor is to table.
It's on the
app-
floor. You
Okay,
can
I
call for a
floor is
vote.
the table.
Thank you.
So that would need a second.
Second.
Okay.
Okay. Hernandez,
Yes.
Duchess,
Yes.
Paulmeyer,
No.
Belt,
No.
Pappas,
No.
Herman,
No.
and Missouri.
Present.
I'm sorry.
Present.
Okay. Would anyone like to move to reaffirm?
I move the reaffirmation of all existing contracts, professional relationships, resolutions, and policies except the legal counsel.
I second.
Okay, Belt,
Yes.
Duchess,
No.
Hernandez,
No.
Missouri,
Present.
Herman,
Yes.
Pappas,
Yes.
and Paulmeyer.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, thank you. So do we have any discussion on the appointment of district legal counsel?
Yes. We did speak with, well, not speak, but Mr. Cox had sent out a thing, you know. As we move forward with the legal counsel, are we going to continue with what Mr. Cox's recommendation was? Because everybody read that, or?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be, if we're going to go that route, it should be read into the minutes, because I believe Mr. Cox, that was his recommendation, and I stand behind your recommendation.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I think that that's solid, and having this motion on the books doesn't mean that you would have to do anything. That's already a legal firm that you've already approved, you're already working with. You don't have to do anything differently.
Okay.
All you're doing is having Hauser Izzo back on the books to be able to use them as an attorney as well.
I would like to
Okay.
ask, aside from Ashley, since we're both new at this again, why, can anybody answer why Izzo was removed back in July of 2019?
Yeah, just wondering if there's a reason.
What was her reason?
My personal reasons were in relation to the board relationship, related to specific communication around the Vidmar case with the school, the district, and the board, I think was inappropriate, inadequate, and definitely did not meet expectations regarding that. And second, there was absolutely no work product that I saw value in during that time.
Okay, and you saw value then with Delgado, with the Vidmar issue?
Correct.
Can you elaborate?
Yes, there was adequate information provided in that packet of attorney backgrounds, biographies, skill sets, and resumes that talked about specific school-related cases and experiences. That was all provided in the public packet during that July 13th meeting materials.
Can I just interject here? I mean, we're asking what happened at the last board. This is a new board. And I believe that we must let bygones be bygones and put the kids back on focus at first. We're never going to know why anybody's real reasons are for whatever they may unless they speak. But I look at it this way: Hauser and them are back, I guess, for tonight. You know, we have a recommendation of Delgado still to handle what they're handling. I think we need to really focus on and respecting each other, which we're doing. But I just the focus has to be back on the children for the next 2 years for me, and I just hope that we can just agree to disagree moving forward. I know we're not always going to agree on everything, and we haven't, but we just have to just respect each other. The decisions will be made. You know, the majority of the board will speak, you know, as we do all the time here and make decisions. But everybody just respect each other, and let's just move on from there, and let's just be good to each other.
I would also have a question for discussion, and noting that this was proposed on the action items and agenda for tonight. So who can provide the background on proposing the change?
I put the item on because I felt that the Delgado firm was not competent. I went through 5 different attorneys who were supposed to be handling the new superintendent's contract, and I couldn't get straight answers. I was not satisfied with the Delgado firm.
I also wasn't, as I looked into different things that we have been charged for, and I didn't get answers. I never did. I got accusations, but I never got answers. I was not happy with the amount that we were charged for what they needed to do. I know that Mr. Izzo is extremely experienced in educational law. I know that we have not been charged in the upwards, I think it's over 15 grand in 6 months from Mr. Izzo, because he knows his work. There is very little that he has to do outside, and I saw a lot of outside work being done. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Mr. Izzo has done a wonderful job for us for decades.
And if this motion is proposed tonight, I also recognize that the contributions of Delgado, contrary to Mr. Herman's opinion, I think they produced through Mr. Mazurk's and Mr. Hernandez's process multiple resources for the board, for the district, for our community, answers to questions, concerns, and issues that have come up since they were retained in July. That information I thought was extremely valuable. Background information was provided, you know, answers that the district couldn't provide directly. So regardless, I think that their work product was 1,000%, you know, better. Again, because we didn't get that same response from Izzo previously. And then in addition, thank them for their expertise. I think they did go to get the right expertise for the different cases and the issues that the district had.
Thank you, and I respectfully disagree. I am looking for a motion to hire.
I would first ask if Janet and Ashley are comfortable with voting on this issue tonight, following Mr. Paulmeyer's.
Considering that I've seen the bills of my tax dollars, I feel very confident of a vote today, me personally.
I would have to agree. I haven't been given any reason why we wouldn't. Like, that's what Janet had asked, like, do you see something that was wrong with this? There was nothing really before, other than the Midmark case, which, as you guys have spoken to, is already handled, not by Izzo, will not be handled by Izzo. I don't see any problems.
And being on the board 6 years ago, working with Mr. Izzo's law firm, never had a problem then.
In that case, I will move to hire Hauser, Izzo, Petreka, Gleason, and Stillman LLC as the Board of Education attorney for Beecher School District 200U, waiving any and all recommendations as set forth in District Policy Manual, including without limitations, set forth in Section 2-160E.
Second.
I have one more item for discussion while we're there that I'll bring up, is that For the same reasons that I think many of us here on the board now and previously had complained that optional policy 2.160E exhibit that attaches to the approved vendors is not being followed in this case in the same way that was proposed in July. So for those of you that thought a policy was violated at the time, it's somewhat hypocritical that we're going through the same process now and going to approve it in the same way without going to the RFP process. So just wanted to make sure that that was documented as well.
I think if this was a case where we had no prior relationship with Mr. Izzo, I think that would be understandable. But seeing as though we have many years of prior history with Mr. Izzo and many past boards and many past administration that have all been very happy with Izzo, that's why I think that a re-vetting of someone after just 2 years almost, I don't think that's necessary, and I think it's a waste of board efforts. Thank you. Okay. Any other following that? Okay, we can carry with the vote.
Okay, so I have a motion by Herman, a second by Pappas. With the roll call, Duchess,
No.
Hallmeyer,
Yes.
Belt,
Yes.
Pappas,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Mazurek,
Yes.
and Hernandez.
No.
Motion carried.
Okay. So with the elementary school roofing bid, I'd just like to say I sent everyone some history on one of the companies that was the lowest bid. Those are some OSHA cases that are going on with that company. I would like to talk about what a lowest responsible bid is, where we're going to go with that. As you can see, there's some cases open right now where prevailing wage was a problem. There's also one case that is open that it has gone to debt collection because they're not paying. And I mean, Mr. Izzo, as you're here, what constitutes reason for not taking necessarily the lowest bid, but taking the lowest responsible bid?
The board has a lot of discretion to determine whether a bidder is responsible or not.
Okay.
They can't select simply the most responsible. They have to select the lowest responsible bidder. So if you determine that the lowest bidder is not responsible, then you can move up the line. What types of things you can consider, that would be, again, a matter of discretion with the board, but it has to be reasonable, and you have to look at things like past experience of the district with that contractor, or references that you've had that indicate that the contractor, for instance, has not been responsive, has been dilatory, has not produced a good product. If you have that kind of evidence regarding their performance, then the board collectively can make a determination in its discretion that a particular bidder is not responsible. But I have emphasized that you can't just look at the list and say, I like this one best. You have to go to the lowest and then say, are they also responsible? And if they are, select them. If they're not, you move up to the next one.
Okay.
So in your opinion, with the firm in question having OSHA findings and outstanding issues that have been, not with our district, but with other people, does that give this board the latitude to move to the next lowest bidder?
Well, I don't know anything about this particular instance, but just based on what you've said, Mr. Cox, yes, if they've had several safety violations, not just in people's opinions, but actual actions, I think that would be a reasonable basis for the board to determine that that particular bidder is not responsible.
Mr. Cox, could you
Thank you,
answer
Ms. Rizzo.
why we wouldn't have the same information for all the bidders that were presented in this regard? And is this something then, maybe Mr. Izzo, to your expertise then, that we should include as part of the bidding and vetting process as a board? Because this OSHA history was recently provided this afternoon, I believe, versus it wasn't part of the previous information that the board evaluated at the time, and we did not have similar information for the other vendors that were presented.
So if I may, this research was done on my own. So I took the bid sheet that we got and it's just, Googled and checked out Department of Labor and things like that. So that was my own due diligence. Nothing of that was provided from the district at all. But
You Googled, Mr. President, you Googled this information?
yes.
Okay. Do we have sites where you Googled? I'm just curious.
It's right on there. It's the OSHA. You can actually, if you pull up the OSHA reports, that's the OSHA report.
I just want to make
It's I think the first hit.
another thing is with these bids. Again, I understand we get a lot of bids and we get a lot of work done, but I think that it's time for President and Board. I think it's time for the bids to be opened in front of a board member and staff, because I think we had a hiccup here last month. So I as a board member, again, will ask that these bids be opened with one board member present from moving forward. I think this solves a lot of our issues. I don't know how you guys agree on it.
So are you not comfortable with just superintendent or admin? You're requesting that there be a board member present?
I would request that a board member for the next 2 years while I'm here on the board to be present at these bid openings.
I'll definitely look into
I
that.
think the facilities committee should be digging into this,
Mhm.
not you.
Mhm.
Anybody
Mhm.
on the board can sit there and
Right,
Google it.
right.
However, what's the purpose of having a facilities committee if they're not doing their job?
Right, I
I
agree.
think
I
it
agree
goes
with
back to the bidding process.
It goes back to the bidding process. where-
Policy, yeah.
Hold on a minute. It goes back to the bidding process. I think that when you have a facilities committee and those bids should have came back, I understand sometimes things got to rush, but you know what? We have special board meetings, we can have special facility meetings.
Absolutely.
It's just moving forward, I think that we have to be transparent with each other, and I think working out of the committees is the right thing to do. And before it comes to the board, because there's a lot of things that have been put on agenda. And Janet, I served with you before, but I think it has to come through the committee. And then come to the
Absolutely.
board.
There's no reason why there needs to be a building and grounds committee meeting next week.
Yeah.
As soon as the president makes those assignments. And so if we want to have this vetted through that committee and then brought to the
No.
May, whatever, 10th.
I'm saying moving
there's
forward.
There's still plenty of time to do
I'm
that.
saying
We do
moving-
have time.
Today's forward,
Yeah.
because today's a new day.
Exactly.
We have time to do that if that is something that would make everybody more comfortable.
Yes, and I think that would be a great idea, and I think that it would also set a precedence with this new board as we would meet with the committee to move forward.
Mr. Cox, can you answer the question that was on the floor about providing that information for all bidders as the committee evaluates the bids and so on, and your input on that?
I don't know the information that you're referring to.
Right, let me repeat the question. So with that, I would ask, when the bids were received, right, and they were presented to the facilities committee, have issues like OSHA, DOL, or other things, are those part of the current policy? And shouldn't those be provided for all vendors to the facilities committee when bids are presented for review?
Any information I provide to the full board, and B, the conversation about OSHA violations, and I didn't have anything to do with that.
Who vets these? Who vets these companies that bid? I'm open. I think 2 bids for everything. But who vets these? A board member.
With
in
responsible
administration.
bidding, if you meet the qualifications, then you can submit a bid.
Right. No. I
And it
understand.
has to be prevailing wage and things like that. So things like from our board policy that you have to have, that we did on policy together with prevailing wage and things like that. There's OSHA violations where somebody wasn't wearing a hard hat. Or there's OSHA violations where there are major grievances that they have major fines for, okay? And one of these that they have is prevailing wage, which is one of our policies. And I see that as a red flag, for example, because if they already have an issue with that. Now, going to what Liz said, it's not necessarily from administration. I mean, these are the bids. I feel that it's also a partnership with the facilities committee, that it's up to us also to check these out and look at them.
That's why I was stressing.
Yeah.
You could have 20 bids, and the facilities committee needs to go through all 20 bids.
But in
and
defense of
rule.
that facilities committee, I sat on it. Okay. I didn't see any of these bids. They didn't come to me. they didn't come to a meeting. So here's the question, you guys, the point moving forward is, everybody wants to vote on stuff, but, I could take whatever you tell me. You could tell me, an ice cream vendor wants to sell ice cream in the lunchroom.
Sure.
Yeah,
But like
absolutely.
Mr. Cox said, we can table
Right.
this to next meeting, meet the facilities, do what you're ready. Like, I agree.
Right.
When I got all these and I was like, looking through the
It's
two
a lot.
and then you
And then
saw
that way the
motion.
facilities
Like,
committee can
I'm
make a
not comfortable
recommendation.
making a $250,000 decision.
Absolutely.
My first night, when you're already showing me what you found in 5 minutes.
Absolutely.
Right.
So I
Yes.
agree with Mr. Mazur. I think this should be.
And Ron, if
If
you
we're
have not
meeting
seen these,
there's nothing harm.
that's a problem right there.
Yes.
Well, I didn't see him prior, you know, I
Right.
mean,
Yeah,
here they are
I
now, but
understand, yes.
I didn't see him prior. And the facilities committee, I mean, I sat on it. I mean, I would like to see this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Okay, so do I hear then a motion to table?
So,
Seconded.
Okay.
Do you want to set up that facilities meeting right now?
So I need to appoint the
Oh,
committee.
that's right, so we can do it through
Hold
email.
on,
Julie,
time out.
you need a roll call vote on
Time-
that?
Oh,
we did
thank
take
you.
a vote on the table,
I will
motion on the floor.
No.
Ask Marla the roll
Marla,
call.
can you roll call that, please?
Yes.
Palmer,
To table it, yes.
Belt,
Yes.
Pappas,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Mazer,
yes.
Hernandez, and Duchess.
Yes. Okay.
Motion carried.
So, on that topic, within the next 24, 48 hours, I will be sending out committee assignments to everyone's email. If you would like your contact information, your cell phone number to be on this document, please email me with that. And then also, if you, whatever committees you're on, just so you know, we need to have a personnel committee within the next week and a facilities meeting within the next week. So if you are chair of those, please start scheduling.
And transportation.
And transportation, yes. So 3 in the next week.
Do we have, you don't have to bring it. Did I see something about an audit on one of these coming up somewhere, or is it?
Was it on the
thought it was
superintendent
on-
report? I don't know.
Yeah, so we currently have a bid out for audits.
Right,
Yes, for
I just want to
auditors.
make a comment. I think that with the new, with Ms. Cox leaving, as I saw an article I don't know, about a month ago, I saw it and it perturbed me a little bit that any comment was made in that format. But here's what I ask. I ask that an independent forensic audit, as we're moving into a new superintendent, coming in, Mr. Cox is leaving, and I think an independent forensic audit of all district finances, district everything should be in the next audit. I don't know how you guys feel, that's how I feel. I seen it in the paper, and it made me feel my name was in somewhere down at the bottom of that article. So I think just to be fair with the outgoing
Now-
superintendent and
So that'd be a finance committee meeting
Uh-huh.
to start that conversation?
And what is the difference between that and the regular audit we get? Or what are you looking for? You know how we get the regular audit every year?
forensic is in depth.
Okay, much more in
And then you have
depth.
just,
Okay.
That's more of a general fund and allocation of resources, compliance
Okay,
related.
thank you.
audit.
All right, then I will put that out for finance as well, so when everyone gets the committee assignments for that, we will see.
I mean, can anybody just refresh where I saw that, because I can't
It
find
was
it.
in one of my reports.
Okay, there you go.
Yep.
Any other items? Okay, then I just need a motion to adjourn.
Someone.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Yes.
No, sorry.
Yes.